Yo, what's up? It's the Christopher Complex coming at you for another evening of Good Evening Grinders. We're going a little bit in a different direction. We're going live tonight. Yeah, making it live. So, just wanted to come at you. I always say that, but I guess that's what it is. Man, we had a cool interview session for the Christopher Complex show with a gentleman named Jay Pinnock, longtime friend, and an incredible voice that just hasn't been heard yet, and I just want to help him get his voice heard. So look forward to seeing that interview come out. There's another interview by Chef Luke Solomon. That's just awesome. Of course, the interview with Morris Hayes, Prince's musical director. Lots of insight in all of those interviews, and some more interviews coming up. But this is Good Evening Grinders with the Christopher Complex. I know you out there grinding. Earlier today, I spoke with Brooklyn's Phoenix. She has a podcast we're working on, and she was hot. She was on it. She her topic, her thing. She was on it, man. And she had called in and she was just like, hey, can we work on the podcast later on tonight? Because I just got something to say. I got to get it out. And I was driving the car, and the car sometimes makes a lot of noise. If you live in New York City, there's a lot of bumps, so you're going to hear all the bumps and stuff like that. But then I remembered I had said in previous podcasts, sometimes you just got to do things in the noise, and sometimes you just got to go. Like right now, in the background, you may hear my kids, run around, getting ready to take a shower for the night so they can go to bed and go to school and stuff like that. And sometimes we just have to do things in the noise. And if you know what I'm talking about, great. If you don't, in the noise, meaning you got your project, you got your goal, you got your thing that you're working on, and time just doesn't permit perfect situation, and you just got to get it done. I was listening to a Gary Vaynerchuk podcast earlier. If you don't know who that cat is, look him up. If you're interested in forwarding your progress, understanding social media, look him up. He will tell you exactly how to work the system to your benefit and keep your truth at it. But sometimes it's not going to be a perfect situation, and it ain't going to be pretty, but it just got to get done. And so she had called me, and she's like, I'm hot, man. I got something to talk about on the topic that she's passionate about. She talks about relationships. She's a single person right now. Beautiful girl on many different levels. Very powerful, too. And she just was talking about rules of the engagement when it comes to dating and when it comes to meeting somebody. It seems like we just strip down so raw that the rawness is just kind of nasty. But I'm coming to you this evening on Good Evening Grinders, and I said all those things to summarize is this. Sometimes it ain't going to be perfect. Sometimes when you hot, don't sit there and try to figure out when's a good time to do things. Sometimes it's just not a good time. You just got to get it done. And sometimes you got to reflect on what's happening to you. So she was reflecting on what happened to her earlier, and reflection will give you the fuel to continue to go on your passion and on your dream. It will give you the fuel to keep going, to keep hitting it, to keep moving, keep making things work in your favor, in your direction. Just reflecting. So she was reflecting on conversations that she had earlier, and it just got her really passionate and got her white hot, and she was just like, we need to do this podcast. We need to do it now. So, if you want to hear what she has to say, I'm going to have it posted on the podcast called Elixir, ELXR, hosted by Brooklyn's Phoenix. But the point that I'm trying to make again is two things. If you got it, it's right there in front of you. Sometimes don't wait on the fanciness and make it pretty, because the message is there. And when I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk earlier today, he was saying the same thing. He was talking to Ryan Serrant. If you ever seen Bravo's TV show about the real estate guys, I guess $1 Million Listing, he's in New York City. He is crushing it. They both was just like, sometimes just give me the raw, give me the real, give me what's happening right now, because everybody's polished and everything is shiny, and I just want to get the context of what you're saying. I don't want to be worried about all this other stuff. I just want to get the context, get the message, and keep going, because the message could be something that I need right now to make my progress go forward. So to summarize, she was reflecting. It got her passionate about what she's passionate, or got her energized about what she's passionate about, and she was just like, we gotta go. And I just said, you know what? I stopped her originally and said, no, let's do it later when I can sit down. And she was just like, I just said, you know what, forget that. Let's just run with it and let's just go. And we went with it, because she had said some things that I don't think I can get her to say at that time. So when I did call her back to make things a little bit better, she didn't even pick up the phone, but I got the information, I got the context. So she reflected on conversations before, or if you reflect on things that happened to you, use that reflection as fuel to help you get your progress to go forward. Growth is important. I'm gonna keep it real, keep it 100 with you. Growth is so important that if you don't have growth in your relationship, you don't have growth in your own personal life, you will die, and you don't want to feel like everything is dead. When I did the interview with Jay Pinnock yesterday, after the interview was over, he asked me why am I doing the podcast, and I said, because, man, I'm a Leo, so I like astrology. I like my sign, Leo. And I said, for many, many years, just like a lion, I just slumbered. I found the biggest tree, and I just slumbered under that tree in the shade, and it took a long time for me to wake up, and that's the reason why things are the way they are, and things are not good. And I'm keeping it 100 with you guys. I'm not no guru. I'm not talking about, I'm like Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm a regular guy that thinks that there's some other regular people out there that's grinding, that's hustling, that's trying to do what they have to do, that's becoming a doer instead of a dreamer, and not slumbering and dreaming like I was. Maybe you need to hear some words that are of encouragement to keep you going, besides the people that you follow, besides the models. Somebody that's just with you along the journey. And I'm just trying to say, this is what I needed to hear every single day. And I didn't even want to do this podcast right now, but I'm doing it and trying to get it done, knock it out. And so we talked about that slumber that I had, slumbering on my talent, on my gift, on everything. And he said, man, what made you want to do it? I just said, I woke up and I started getting busy, and I started getting on to stuff. And I again started to reflect on what the heck I created in that slumber. The stagnation, the lack of growth. Everything else is growing around me and my wife, especially when you have a wife or a spouse, everything's growing around them and they're not growing, you're not growing. That's a problem. And I started to reflect on that, and that reflection got me motivated, gave me fuel. I was reflecting in the car on my way back from work just now, and I was reflecting again, and I was just like, wow. When you reflect on your good, your bad, and you just meditate on what it is that you're present at the moment, you could use that as fuel. So, as you guys know, good evening, grinders. I started this session to give all the late night grinders that just got off work, that don't want to do it, rather get ready to go to bed. And all of the people that have done it had to put in an extra 30 minutes. I don't want you to be sleep deprived and kill yourself, but I want you to get up, because I got to get up. And let's work on our projects, eventually become a community where we can all call each other or text each other or post something or do some social media that keeps us all motivated, so that when in the future, when we reflect, that fuel that we get from that reflection, it's fuel to keep going, because we see our work is finally coming to fruition, and we see that we've actually did some cool things and created products for the universe, for people to get better. I just want everybody to get better. I'm not no professed guru. I ain't got no degree. I'm just a regular dude, just doing what I always did when I was a kid, and now I just got a megaphone to do it. Anyway, guys, reflect a little bit, meditate. That's what I got from that interview from Jay Pennock. Reflect, meditate, see what can fuel you to keep you going. Because when we grind on our dreams and we want to become doers, sometimes we just need something else that's going to motivate us, and something different every day, or something repetitious every day, or a mixture of it all. That's all Good Evening Grinders is about. Thank you for listening. As I always say, in Good Evening Grinders, go in that field, get you a handful of wheat, get your grinding stone, and get to taking that wheat and grind that stuff down into a powder called flour. Because before you make the dough, you need to make some flour. And that old Dunkin' Donuts commercial, time to make donuts, you can't do that without dough. You can't make dough without flour. So get the grinding, keep on moving. If you like what you hear, hit me up. If you're a troll, don't bother me. Just go find a bridge to watch. Talk to you soon. It's the Christopher Complex. You can hit me up at the Chris Complex on Twitter. Yeah, that's about the best thing. At Chris Complex on Twitter. The Chris Complex on Twitter. Have a good day tomorrow. So we're gonna have a good morning, grinders. It's gonna be all mystical and fun and stuff like that. But keep grinding on your project. If you listen to this, hit me up. Tell me what your project is. I'll give you a shout out. Peace.